Are we on? We going?
We've been recording this entire time.
Hey,
What's
we're
up?
back.
We are back after an extended break.
Yeah,
but
extended break. I think we ought to start doing something. Try to do it every episode. This day in history, December 19th, 1998, the House of Representatives approved 2 articles of impeachment against Bill Clinton, one for lying under oath and the other for obstruction of justice. The president's infamous White House affair with 21-year-old unpaid intern Monica Lewinsky led to the charges. 8 weeks later, the Senate blew the alleged high crimes off, voting against removing Clinton from office. He remained head of state until 2001.
you know something interesting I just saw is
What's that?
I've ads for Masterclass keep popping up
Yeah.
on my Facebook.
Right.
Bill Clinton is one of the first ones on there. It's his picture, and he teaches a masterclass
On?
that they advertise. I can look it up, but it's amazing
Proper
what
etiquette at your desk. or
something
what?
ridiculous. But imagine Trump with his impeachments. Would they let him do a masterclass on something?
You know,
And
really,
advertise for it? I doubt it.
You know, really, when I read this, I thought how lame, not lame, but how insignificant it seems with all the stories we get, like senators and congressmen and all that kind of stuff, and all the shenanigans that are going on in the world today. How, oh yeah, that's just another day in the news.
He did a master class on inspiring diverse thinking and conflict resolution by Bill Clinton.
Oh yeah, this would.
Oh, this is
he was
amazing.
doing some conflict resolution right here.
He sure was.
Yeah.
It was just not resoluting in his favor.
Right, right.
All right, you want to jump right in?
What are we
I
jumping
got?
into?
Drones.
Drones. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. Okay, so I actually did my research on drones, and we got us a article that I think we're able to show. Bryant, if you can pull this one up. They're gaslighting us. New Jersey official responds to drone mystery. Ring ring. New Jersey official responds to drone mystery. Okay, so I'm just going to jump right into here. So this journalist talked with this New Jersey official on the phone. He wished to remain anonymous, so the information will be kept. So the information here will be kept that way. What's happening now is that all across New Jersey, people have been seeing unidentified flying objects for at least 3 weeks since mid-November, many of which appear to look like drones. The presence of these drones is indisputable at this point. The official I spoke to has received countless inquiries from constituents about them. He even noted how, on many nights, he and other high-ranking state officials have observed swarms of these drones flying into New Jersey from the ocean. Meanwhile, the Biden-Harris White House has had a briefing with these officials 2 days ago, during which they claimed the drone story isn't happening. The administration's framing is that these drones are either hobbyist planes or stars. But nobody buys it. Not the people of New Jersey nor the state government, but the drones persist, continuing to fly over sensitive areas such as reservoirs near Trump's home in Bedminster and even near military facilities, prompting the state to close certain areas. New Jersey officials maintain that the federal government is gaslighting them. While there is no consensus on the origin of the drones, most believe that they're likely to be from enemy nations and more likely something the federal government knows about but is keeping highly confidential. Imagine that. Yeah. There is the possibility that the government simply doesn't know much about the drones, but that isn't. They basically say that isn't likely in this article. So that's basically the story. And not only are these drones being sighted in New Jersey, but really all over the East Coast now, from what I understand. This next one, the airspace is being monitored. We know that drone activity caused officials to close airspace over one of the United States' most critical Air Force bases for almost 4 hours late Friday and early Saturday, according to the base spokesperson. And that these drones were referred to small unmanned aerial systems were being monitored by these base units. And the man that runs the base was saying To date, installation leadership has determined none of the insursions impacted base residence facilities or assets. There's this Osbury Park Press article, and all this is coming to a head here in a second.
Okay.
Federal officials have insisted. The headline is, "Here's what officials have said that confirm it is drones over New Jersey, not planes." And it says, federal officials have insisted that the majority of mysterious craft seen over New Jersey are manned aircraft. There have been numerous statements from the government officials that confirm at least some of the aircraft are drones. Federal officials revealed at the briefing Saturday the FBI is investigating nearly 100 reports of drone sightings that they could not attribute to manned aircraft. So, Biden-Harris,
What do you think?
there's something out there, and the fact that Biden-Harris are saying that, okay, nothing is happening, that this is, first of all, they stated that this isn't happening and it's just hobbyists, and that they don't know anything about them. One of the statements said that they didn't know what's going on with them, whatever.
Right.
Well, they know enough that the person in where they shut down the base in Ohio, they know enough about him to where they deemed them not dangerous and opened the base back up because they did a full-blown investigation of it. So how do you know enough and have investigated enough to be able to close down a base, then deem them not harmful, and then open a base back up again?
Well, my opinion on this is that, one, it's utter incompetence that you, if you don't know what they are,
Yeah.
it's utter incompetence. And if you know what they are and they are anything but a hobbyist, why they aren't blown out of the sky. Unless it's a military operation of some kind.
And that's where I'm tending to go with this. But the thing is, and the question that people should be asking is, if they're deeming them not dangerous, then why can't they tell us what they are? Why can't they?
Unless it's a military operation.
Unless it's a military operation.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that the military operation would be against us. The military operation could be testing, their abilities to use overseas or anything like that. I mean, right here in Fort Smith, at the 188th Tactical Unit out here at the airport.
Yep.
They fly 90% of all drones are flown out of Fort Smith.
Yeah. And I mean, I know the fact that they're saying that they really don't know what they are is bogus to me, because even here in Arkansas, I know that for our construction company, we take drone footage. And wasn't there something with a house that we wanted drone footage of, but we couldn't because we don't have the proper licensure?
Right.
Because we're so close to an Air Force base.
Right.
The fact that they're claiming that these drones are getting right over Air Force bases, yet they know nothing about them.
All drones.
It's absolutely. They're
all
lying.
drones are supposed to be permitted to fly.
Right.
And when you apply for that permit, you got to tell why you're doing it, what all those things.
Yeah.
And to my understanding, certain drones, not all drones, and I could be wrong about this, but certain drones can't take off in restricted airspace if they don't have the permit to do it, the proper code or whatever to allow them to take off. They won't even get in the air. So to be in restricted airspace without somebody knowing is unlikely.
Impossible is the word I would use. It's impossible.
It's highly unlikely.
And Trump said on the 16th that the government knows what they are. He's somebody who's been in office before that would know whether people would know or not.
Well, we had a balloon float across the United States, 3/4 of the way across the United States before we took any action on it.
Yeah.
How much information did it? And it was a Chinese balloon.
It already probably got all the information it needed by the time it got shot down.
Yeah, it's insanity. It's a breach of our border security.
Mm-hmm. So, what made me think the reason they're not sharing what it is and playing dumb on this, my mind immediately goes to, well, the military knows, or it is the military operation.
Right.
So, I looked up what U.S. military drones are used for, and we have that answer right here. It says for the military drones, more commonly referred to as unnamed aerial vehicles or UAVs, soar strategically above the battlefield and beyond for use in surveillance and reconnaissance, combat support, force protection, electronic warfare, precision strikes, and training and testing. So they can be used to, and a theory that I've heard is that they could be being used to scan for nuclear
Yes.
activity.
They use the heat signature on, because one of the things is they're being done at night, correct? Mm-hmm. At
But
night,
they're all at night,
You
pretty
can do a
much.
heat signature because other than looking for a heat signature, really, drones aren't that effective, from my understanding, from the research that I've done. Aren't that effective at night unless they are picking up heat signatures.
Really?
And heat signatures are either human, animal, nuclear, or something like that. Something that puts off heat. So it would be monitoring that.
Right.
Uh,
I've seen some footage, and I wasn't able to get it to where we could pull it up, but footage of these flying objects, drones, that are kind of there's like this ball of light, which we consider to be a drone, and out of it is shooting more drones, like coming out of it, this bigger drone. There's also been footage of these drones that I've seen raining liquid down from the sky as well. And
are we sure that they're drones?
and that's what I'm saying. Is
Okay.
are we 100% positive? I think the bottom line is there's something up there, and they're not telling us what it is, but they know what it is.
Right.
And I think most everybody is awake to the fact they know what it is.
No, it's not. It's not unheard of that our government would keep secrets from us.
No. What do you think about Project Bluebeam? That's the other conspiracy
That's
theory
the
with
other
this thing.
conspiracy. I don't know a whole lot about Project Bluebeam. I've heard of it and lightly have heard things about it, but I haven't looked into Project Bluebeam that much.
Apparently, they can use projections from flying aircrafts to project certain things in the sky, maybe fake an alien invasion, things like that, to establish world dominance is the basis of that theory, I think. And so a lot of people are saying that possibly this is a test run of doing something like that in the not too distant future, especially with the sightings of UFOs that they tried to gin up over the past couple of years too. So that's just something else people are throwing out there.
What do you think that their purpose for faking a UFO invasion would be?
Faking an alien invasion?
Yeah.
Well, I have a very Christian answer for this.
Okay.
I think if they can prove that aliens exist, they can prove that it's UFOs. What I think that they've tried to coin as extraterrestrials is actually, and I might get flack for this, actually demonic activity, fallen angel activity, things like that. That's what I think. And by making it look like aliens and something different than what it is, it gets away from the truth of what Scripture says about those things. And so if they can convince us that aliens are real and it's all aliens, then that discredits the Bible to a certain extent. So
One of the things I've been looking up, is it true that, to your knowledge, that, and I was just going to do a quick search in the Bible app, but about the impenetrable firmament. There's some reference to that in the Bible.
I've been told, yes, and I think I've read it, and it is true. You could probably just look up verses about the unbreakable firmament in the Bible or something. I think I've read it. I don't know if it's 100. I can't say it's 100% true because I don't remember what the verse says exactly. I do know that there is a firmament named that separates the waters above the firmament from the waters below the firmament, and that's how Genesis describes it. Something interesting as well that I discovered in reading the Genesis creation story, that the sky is the only thing that God did not say was good. Whenever, at the end of everyday creation, he says good. When he did the sky, he did not say it was good. I think it was the sky. I think it was. Anyway, I just found that really interesting. Did you find anything? Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff with that.
Yeah, that is interesting.
But what do you got? You got anything?
Just some current events. The Senate passes a $895 billion defense bill
Defense bill
This
for
week.
where?
for here.
For here.
us.
Okay.
House Ethics Panel to release Matt Gaetz. Report.
Mm-hmm.
The Supreme Court is to hear the TikTok ban case.
Yes, that's a big one.
What do you think about that?
Why do you think that they're trying to get rid of TikTok? Honestly, because they've said, this is from my own research, I could be completely wrong. They've said, oh, it's because China is leaking our information, China. Facebook and Instagram have been doing that for years and years and years, and they have not called out anything about it for the most part. So now we're going to throw a big fit on TikTok. Well, the guy that founded TikTok isn't even from China. He's not a citizen of China, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're wrong about that.
I thought in his hearing he said he isn't a citizen of China. He's from Indonesia or something like that.
Maybe I haven't seen that.
If I'm not mistaken, he's not a citizen of China. If anything, he said he didn't live in China, which I guess that wouldn't probably mean much. But the point of what I'm trying to say is I don't think that that's their problem, because our government, we're in cahoots with China. I mean,
has no problem with giving China information.
No problem. What do you think's the real reason behind it? 'Cause I have my opinion, but
Well, I think that it's saber rattling to give people the idea that we care about giving information to China, and it's all political theater, mainly. But if TikTok is based in China, if the app is based in China, then they're a member of the. They got to answer to the CCP. It just is that way.
okay.
And if you answer to the CCP, they have all the information. And to say that Facebook, Instagram, all of the above social media is not friendly with but they're not, their business isn't based out of China.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not technically as infected by the CCP as what we would say a Chinese-based organization.
Yeah, I would have to do more research on that. I kind of got on the drone tangent this week and not the TikTok tangent.
Right.
One of the things I really think, as for me and my generation, we get a lot of information from TikTok. That's pretty much the biggest information getter of my generation.
Right.
And on TikTok, there is censorship. It does exist, just like it does on any other platform.
Right.
But I've learned a lot of information. I've gotten a lot of information from TikTok that was verifiable and able to be proven true. And I really think that it's been launched as a platform where independent creators can be so successful. And I think really the establishment shaking in their boots that these independent creators, podcasters like you and me, or Tucker, Candace Owens, or Russell Brand, or Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's the big one.
Right.
Can have such a pull and have such a base bigger than the establishment media does.
Do you think that TikTok is the one of the main catalysts? What do you think about X/Twitter?
TikTok's one of the main catalysts. X/Twitter is it's better now that Elon has it as
Right.
far as free speech goes. Before that, it was not good.
No, it wasn't good.
But
since Elon bought Twitter
right,
and changed it to X,
yeah. What do I think about it?
Yeah.
I think it's a good
I mean, a lot of
platform.
places have opened up their platforms. Like Tucker Carlson,
Yeah.
he does it to Twitter.
I imagine they'll go after Twitter. I've heard rumblings of how, they tried to go after Twitter or sue Twitter or all of this
Right.
kind of stuff.
Right.
But at the same time, and the CEO of TikTok is filthy rich too. but I think Elon Musk is more wealthy.
Yeah,
and so it's harder to go after one of the most wealthy men probably in the world, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
And it's you can't pick a big fight with somebody with a lot of money because they can fight you just as hard. So I don't know. That I'm not sure about X.
I think that the election, all of that was pretty much more wide open. There, Trump got elected because Twitter was able to, or X was able to put out information unscripted
Information. And Trump was elected because he was going on these independent media creators platforms.
Isn't that crazy?
That's why he won. He went on Joe Rogan, going on these other podcasts. He went on PBD.
Yeah.
Doing that won him the election. And I think that the mainstream media is dead, and it's afraid and does not know what its next move is. So they got their talons out, and they're
going to be bought up by these independent creators.
They are.
People like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, PBD are going to start accumulating. I know I understand there's been talks between some of these creators and like MSNBC.
Yeah.
Who's up? Rumors are up that they're up for sale, and things like that to rebrand and use the platform. That's
what I've heard too. Well, and the fact that traditionally candidates go on and do a debate, and that's what most of America watches and makes their decision based on.
Right.
The fact that whenever these debates were being hosted in this last election and in the primaries, that people were watching the interviews of the candidates with private creators double the rate that they were watching the debates.
The debates.
And that they're not making their decisions based on the mainstream media anymore is very alarming for them. I think that's...
Well, long form interview format is the way that these candidates, the celebrities, things like that, are able to make what their persona is to be able to have these short interviews where it's all scripted and cut and pasted and all those kind of things in a long form unedited, like Joe Rogan. A lot of these creators do Russell Brand interviews, and you just get all the mess ups, all the stuff. You can't hide who you really are.
Absolutely.
It comes out eventually. So
Right.
it's much more truth telling in those kind of settings,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I think this is the independent media age. It's going to become a bigger deal than it is. It's already a big
Absolutely.
deal, but it's going to become a lot bigger deal.
Yeah.
So
Interesting to bring a name back up that we haven't heard, or I haven't heard for a while. Andrew Tate. The UK courts allow seizure of €2 million from Tate.
they'll allow the seizure.
Yeah, allow the
Wow.
seizure of €2 million from Tate.
What do you think about it? What do you think about Andrew Tate? The whole thing, in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, he is a
I think he's a brilliant person. I really. do.
he's extremely smart.
He's a brilliant
He's
person.
a brilliant deviant.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
think
he's not. Yeah.
I think he is a brilliant deviant that says a lot of things that are correct, but at the end of the day, he is a deviant.
Yes, I agree. But at the same time, you can't. If you understand terminology, I do and I don't blame him. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yes, I don't blame him because I don't think he's a Christian.
right? I don't think he's a Christian either.
And so I don't blame him in the sense that
mean,
he's
he's
just
a
trying to
Muslim.
win, but he's winning at the cost. He has won.
he's winning the world, but not winning.
The
race.
Well, yes, but he's winning at the cost of women and truth when it comes to men. Although he says a lot of things that are true, and that I agree with, and I've watched or listened to hours of interviews with him on different platforms, and I agree with a lot of things that he says. He's a deviant.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. I do think it's interesting though, his take on how he claimed Christianity as his religion and left for the fact that Christianity's weak. They don't stand up for anything.
They don't have a backbone.
They don't have a backbone. That was a very interesting take, and one that I've had for a very long time.
Well, Christians don't have a backbone.
Christians don't. Christians don't.
Have a backbone.
And we don't stand up for what we believe in. I mean, just look at where America is right now. Before the 20th century, it was highly Christian. The church was the core of life. Now, it's everything we stand for is under attack. What's that from? Well, it's from us not occupying while we were giving up our freedoms and our privileges and our responsibilities to the federal government.
It's absolutely true.
And they don't. So, in that sense, he's right. Christians don't stand up for anything.
He says tons of things that I agree with.
And that's
you just, it's the same. It's
blanket Christians. I know, and definitely know individual Christians.
I know individual Christians,
but
that are
blanket, and especially Western Christians. Because if you go over to Syria and all these other places in the Middle East where they're being lined up and shot, they're definitely standing for something.
Absolutely.
So I'm mainly just talking about Western Christianity whenever I say that.
The United States are full of Christians without a backbone.
Christians without a backbone.
Yeah.
Enslaved to the government.
Christianity has been weaponized into a feeling and not a belief, and a belief in the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And we've said this. I mean, this is the fourth podcast in, and our first one, that the basis of truth and the all truth comes from the Word of God. God is truth.
Mm-hmm.
It says that in the Bible, and the truth is not important. Your feelings are what's most important.
Right.
And
absolutely.
And God doesn't care about my feelings. There is truth.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. My feelings are supposed to be a responder to the truth that God sets forth. So.
Yeah, and we need to modify our feelings to be receptive to what the Bible says.
Right.
And not adverse and offended.
Right. My feelings and most people's feelings react to our emotion and not to the truth.
Absolutely.
So.
But, yeah, I think I've said enough for today.
That's today.
We've said
enough said.
That's enough said. I would like to say a lot of this drones, wars going on, all kinds of other stuff like that. A lot of it is fear to keep us ginned up. And I know, we got guys working out back, everybody. You got to make sure you don't bar a gym. Fear to keep us ginned up. And so I think that, especially in this season, where a lot of people are, the name Jesus is being thrown around a lot right now, to be grounded in the fact that there is a singular focus, and that's the truth of Jesus Christ and who he is throughout all of this. That we got a solid foundation to fall back upon. So. Oh,
and another thing, something maybe to look forward to. We're going to try to work it out, but we may have guests coming up. We may have some interviews, some people that come in and
set us straight.
Yeah, set us straight.
Absolutely.
Hey, and if you want to set us straight, come in here and do it.
Come in here and do it.
We want you to. We need a lot of straightening out.
Yeah,
this guy does.
Yeah, me. I'm the one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely. We need your feedback. I put out questions. Try to put out questions weekly that we share our viewers' response. So, if you want to, be looking out on all social media platforms for those questions. Comment. If you learn something from this, share it, and give us a thumbs up or a like or wherever you are, and we'll see.
Or if you want to put out there that we're, have you seen this crazy bunch that what they say and what they believe? Spread that too.
We love it.
Yep.
We love it. We'll see everybody next time. Fascists.